Hey, Mama, and welcome back to For Moms, a safe space. I'm your host, Simone, and I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode is one I've sat with for a long time because it's one of those topics that makes people feel uncomfortable, especially when it comes from a mom. We're going to talk about something that almost feels forbidden to say out loud: regret. Not regret about loving our kids, not regret about wanting the best for them, but regret about becoming a mom or regret about having another child. And I know it's like, wait a minute, moms feel this? Yeah, we do. Feeling regret does not mean you don't love your children. Both things can exist at the same time. So let's talk about it. This episode is not about shaming motherhood, and it's not about encouraging anyone to walk away from their kids. And it's not about blaming children for adult pain. This is about telling the truth, so other moms don't suffer in silence, believing they're monsters for having honest thoughts. Because silence is where shame grows. And this podcast has never been about silence. So why don't we talk about this? Mothers are allowed to be tired. We're allowed to be overwhelmed. We're allowed to complain about lack of sleep. But regret, that's where society draws the line. Because the moment a mother says, "Sometimes I wonder what my life would have been like if I hadn't had kids," she's labeled ungrateful, selfish, broken. How dare you say that about your kids? Oh, I'm appalled. But the truth is, regret doesn't come from a lack of love. It comes from loss. Most moms who feel regret aren't regretting their children. And that's a big thing that I want to point out. Because if you say out loud, "Oh, I regret having kids," immediately, people think that you are saying you regret your child. And that's not the case at all. Like, you love your kids, right? You love them. You'll do anything for them. And you don't regret them. It's just that you're grieving the version of you that disappeared, the freedom that you didn't know you were giving up, or the life that you didn't get to finish building, or the support that you thought you would have, or that relationship with the other parent didn't survive motherhood, which, let's be honest, a lot of relationships don't survive after a baby comes into play because moms change drastically and dads can't keep up. Some dads don't know how to have empathy for the woman who gave birth to their children. They just think that she's supposed to be the same person that she was before she had kids, instead of seeing her body went through all these changes in 9 months. She is not the same person. She's not this person who can just get up and go freely like you guys used to do, right? And then perhaps the biggest one, especially in today's climate, is the financial pressure that they weren't prepared for, because kids are expensive. Kids constantly need, they're constantly growing. Every year you're having to buy something. Every couple of months you have to buy something. They need something all the time. It doesn't stop. Regret is often grief with nowhere to go. Now let's talk about this one. I wonder how many women can relate to this. Regret after having one more. The regret after having another child is like, ugh. Because no one prepares you for that emotional whiplash of realizing I loved motherhood one way, but not this way. So maybe you had one child and you found a rhythm. Or maybe you were finally feeling like yourself again. Maybe you hesitated but convinced yourself it would all work out and it didn't. And guess what? That doesn't make you a bad mom. It makes you human. And I'm in this category, right? I have 2 kids and they're 10 years apart. And with my oldest, I was starting to feel like, okay, I got this. I know what I'm doing now. I've kept him alive this long. We're good. I was starting to feel like myself because he didn't need me as much. He was becoming more independent. And then I had another kid. And essentially, I reset my clock all over again. And some days I do regret that. The days that I'm at home and I'm trying to work, I do regret having another kid because I can't give him 100% of my attention throughout the day because I'm still working. And then when I'm ready to give him attention, I'm so overstimulated from him begging for attention all day long that it's like, I don't really want to be around you right now because you kind of bothered me all day long. But yeah, I'll be honest, absolutely I regret having another kid. I love him dearly. I don't regret him. I just regret that my life is different. I regret that my oldest will be in high school and then he'll be starting kindergarten. And it's like, I literally reset the clock and I'm starting all over. And it's stressful because I'm older. You know, you have your kid when you're in your 20s, you have different energy. Your mindset's different. You feel different. Having a kid in your 30s, your back's hurting, your knees hurting, your hips hurting, your head's hurting. You have different life challenges. And then put into play everything that's going on in society. And it's just like, oh God, this is too much. This is too much. But it doesn't make me a bad mom. I know I'm not a bad mom. I know I'm not. But do I feel guilty for feeling that regret? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because it's like, how could I feel this way when someone else would give anything to be a mom? And I know there are women out there that can't have babies and they're like dying to have kids. And in my mind, I'm like, don't do it. Kids are ghetto. But that's not my experience, right? I can't say to them, oh, you don't want to have kids because kids is ghetto, because they may have a completely different experience than I have, right? And then you think, how can I love my child so deeply and still wish my life looked differently? Like, I love my youngest son. Love him to death. That's my baby. But yeah, some days I do wish that he was not around and I could just get up and go when I wanted to go. Even something as small as saying to myself, okay, I have to drive into work because I have to drop him off to daycare, right? But if I didn't have to drop him off to daycare, I could catch the train into work and save myself so much money and not have to use my car. It's like little things like that make you feel like, I wish my life looked differently. Or the fact that for this year, I'm turning 35 and I would love to go away for my 35th birthday because I feel like that's a freaking milestone. But then in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, I have no problem getting anyone to take care of my oldest son because he's independent. You don't have to do much for him. Pretty much feed him, show him a little attention, but he does his own thing. But my little one, he needs constant attention. And it's like, who am I going to find that's going to say, okay, yep, drop him off here. That's fine. I'll keep him for the weekend. You enjoy yourself. I mean, I could try. It's January. That gives people, 3 months to decide yes or no. But then again, if I didn't have him, I didn't have to worry about that. If I just had my oldest, it would be so much easier to say, hey, can Mace come over to you for the weekend because I want to go somewhere? Sure, no problem, because he's older. But I've said in previous episodes that I didn't want to have kids at all. I've said that in previous episodes. I didn't want to have kids at all. And that's the God honest truth. I didn't want to have kids. I did not. I wanted to be a rich auntie, living my best life. That's what I wanted. That's exactly what I wanted. But I had my oldest son, and you know what? I think it was a good thing for me, because he changed me and he grew me up in ways that I needed to grow up. But this little one, I don't know what he's doing for me. I don't know how he's like, what he's doing to change me. Because if anything, he's making me more tired. He's making me more tired. Now, let's talk about what regret does to moms. Okay. Unspoken regret turns into depression, resentment, emotional numbness, irritability, burnout, self-loathing. And then moms, we blame ourselves. Instead of questioning the systems that leave us unsupported, isolated, and overwhelmed. All those words sound familiar, don't they? Every last single word sounds familiar. Resentment, irritability, burnout. Those are probably the top 3 on the list that moms feel. You always see those social media posts that talk about the mom burnout. And baby, the mom burnout is real. And when you do have that burnout, it does produce irritability. And then you're deemed as mean. You're always angry. You're always upset. And it's like, no. Why can't anyone see that I'm drowning as a mother? And all us moms want is for someone to say, here, take a seat. I got you. Instead of, what do you need me to do? How can I help? Just look around, observe, read the room, and say, you know what? Let me do this. And you relax. If you're listening to this and you've ever thought, I shouldn't have done this, or I wasn't ready, or I love my kids, but I hate my life, take a breath for a second. You're not broken, you're not dangerous, and you're not alone. You're a mom who didn't get the full truth before making a life-altering decision, and that matters. So what does healing look like? Healing doesn't start with forcing gratitude. It starts with honesty, and it starts with saying, this is hard. This isn't what I imagined. I need more support than I'm getting. And I need space to breathe without being judged. Because these things can exist together. You can love your kids and need help. You can show up and admit you're struggling. You can be a good mom and wish parts of your life were different. Regret doesn't mean the story ends badly. It just means something needs to change. Maybe it's asking for help, setting boundaries, redefining what motherhood looks like for you, getting mental health support, letting go of the perfect mom image, and rebuilding our identity outside of motherhood. You don't have to disappear to be a good mom. And one thing I said for myself this year, because my youngest turned 3, is I do want to reclaim my identity outside of motherhood. I don't want to be known as just a mom, a bonus mom, and a girlfriend. I don't want to be known as that. Like, I want to have my own identity. I want to do things that make me happy, that have nothing to do with my kids or my family. I let go of that perfect mom image. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. There's no one perfect mom. But you know what there is? Perfect mom for your kids. It's a difference. Your kids see you as the perfect mom, but there is no one perfect mom. Mental health support, therapy, go to it, do it. It's important. Even if you don't see a therapist, get a journal. I am waiting for my journal to be published on Amazon. It's the For Moms a Safe Space Journal. And I have a whole bunch of manifestations in it and a whole bunch of affirmations in it as well. And I'm waiting for it to be published on Amazon. And once it's published, purchase it and use that as your therapy. Ask for help. That's probably one of the things that you could do to really lessen your load. Asking for help. It's okay to have the feelings that you have. It's okay to feel how you feel. You're not a bad person for saying, I regret having kids. You're not a bad person for saying, I regret having another one. And if no one told you this lately, you're doing something incredibly hard. You're carrying responsibility most people will never fully understand. And you deserve compassion, not judgment, including from yourself. So I want to have some affirmations in here. And I want you to either repeat these or just listen. So take a deep breath, calm yourself, calm your mind. And I want you to say, I am allowed to tell the truth about my experience. My feelings do not make me a bad mother. I can love my children and still grieve my old life. I am allowed to ask for help. I am more than my hardest days of motherhood. So, if this episode brought something up for you, sit with it gently. You don't have to solve everything today. And if you know a mom who's quietly drowning behind a smile, share this with her. Follow, like, share, subscribe. Bring all the moms to this community. This is For Moms, a safe space. And here, you don't have to pretend. Take care of yourself, mama.